Hello and welcome to another edition of This Week in ITF History. We got there. My name is David Diamond and I'll be here each and every week with a renegade stat man to discuss the names, the games, the wins, the draws, the losses from this week in ITFC history. Stat, we're back. We made it back. Where have we been? It's a combination at everything's conspired against us, mate, hasn't it, really?
I don't know, work,
I've been ill, work,
weather.
everything, mate.
Everything. It's good to see you.
Yeah, you too,
mate. Give you a little hug.
You too. Yeah, good, lovely. Lovely.
Oh,
yeah.
That was nice.
It's good to be back, mate. I think we had our hardcore of support, which was ITFC Clat Ian and bless him, Jules, have been clamouring for a history pod. So, guys, just for you, here we are. We're back.
Our two fans,
our two biggest supporters, but we're back, especially for them. Pre-Christmas, Christmas special. Well, there may be a Christmas. We don't know. We'll see. But anyway, so what have you been up to, mate? You've been busy at work. You've been a bit ill as well. I think you were ill for a few days and stuff.
Work and
been away
towards the end of the term, and being away and preparing me notes and stuff for the flagship show. A lot of them have been stacking up over there now.
Boy. When do you? Is it tomorrow your last day for?
The last day is
the
19th of December. Wednesday. Yeah.
Lovely. So will that be? And obviously, you've been working hard. Will that be a complete break for you, or
a break from the building of school, but not a break from work? Hashtag always working.
There you go, mate. Always there. Anyway, mate, where are we going first? I know we've got some crackers. I'll say it's crackers. No, they are. Where are we going first, mate?
Well, I went down the shed and I pulled this blanket off. And there was the stat machine sitting there.
Gleaming. Yeah, it's been
a bit of
hibernation.
Is there such a thing as four-stroke petrol? I don't know but if there isn't, I stuck four-stroke petrol into it, and
mate,
it's whirring to go. Now, the games that it's got are some absolute crackers, and one of them we go back to your favourite season, but perhaps not a game that people would think that we would cover, but. As you say, wins, draws, and losses.
Yeah, we go everywhere. Who knows where the stat machine goes? We go everywhere.
And in fact, the first game has a link with that game back in 1980-81. But let's start. So it's the 16th of December, 2000. It's a Saturday, 3 p.m. kickoff. Yeah. We're in the Premiership, and it's just before Christmas. So it's worth looking at the crowd then. 22,228.
Were we up? But capacity yet? No, we weren't, were we? Of course not.
No.
Sir Ralph was in the, which was Sir Ralph.
No, we hadn't done anything then, had we? This was our first season.
No, perhaps we hadn't. No, of course not. No.
So we were a bit short capacity. I think there was about 200 odd people there who had sort of decided to do their Christmas shopping early. But I don't know about you, but
yeah.
Friday night's the time to do Christmas shopping. Do you think?
Absolutely, mate.
Yeah. So we are.
Remember going down Thursdays with Ipswich and all those kids, probably you were one of them, a bit younger than me, used to run by with a string, didn't you? Better was you, wasn't it?
Yeah. I still do it.
Yeah.
Still, you can actually do it on Thursday the 20th. If you get yourself down there, and you can just go around. They're doing a sort of
string.
Yeah. You will not be arrested. In the home dugout was George Burley, obviously, and in the opposition dugout was Glenn Hoddle, and it was Ipswich versus Southampton.
Now, I did obviously a little bit of. Obviously, remember the game I was there. I did a little bit of research on that game. I can honestly say we're in the middle of a decent run.
Well, who would beat in the previous weekend?
Sorry,
who would we beat in the previous weekend?
I think we've just gone up to Anfield and won 1-0, haven't we?
What's happened to them now?
It was only a mere 18 years ago. Honestly,
wow! And they've finally got to the top, but I still don't think Liverpool are going to win the.
That's going to be incredible this year. They both could have record point hauls, and one's going to miss out. But I think Liverpool might. Anyway, we digress.
So we beat Liverpool 1-0 the previous weekend. Marcus Stewart with his 754th goal around the keeper and rolling it into the back of the net. So we're at home at Southampton, and this week we're going to go through the Southampton team first. Jones.
I think it's Paul Jones, isn't it? Paul.
Welsh keeper.
Yeah.
Dodd.
Ken, obviously. By Jove, missus. Jason, I think. Jason
Dodd, yeah. Lundekvam.
Klaus Lundekvam.
Yeah, very Christmassy.
Yeah.
Richards.
Good player. Dean Richards. Sadly no longer with us, has he? Died.
Very true. Sad. Forgot about that. Did he play for Tottenham?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Wolves.
Yeah.
So where was Southampton in his career then? Had he played at Wolves before?
Not sure. I'm sure he moved from. Someone to correct me. I'm sure he moved from Spurs to. Was he? Did he go Wolves, Spurs, Southampton? Yeah, possibly. Not sure.
Davies.
I think that's Kevin Davies.
Kevin Davies, yeah.
Yeah, striker, yeah.
I don't know why I've listed them in that order. He'd have been up front.
It would have been up front.
Yeah. Tessem? Who's Tessem? Tessem.
Joe Tessem. But yeah, I remember the name, but no, nothing, no.
Oakley?
Matt Oakley.
Oakley. Yeah. This other guy rings no bells to me. El Khalaj?
No, don't know him. Only I did a bit of digging. He's Taha. Taha El Khalaj, but I can't remember much about him. Sounds like it. Sounds like it should be.
And then the next player's got one of my favourite first names. Pahars. First name of...
It's Marion, isn't it? Yeah, Marion.
There can't be many Marions that have played in the Premier League.
I don't think so. What was he? What was he? Was he like Latvian? Was he? I believe.
I was going to say Latvian. Yeah. I think he was born in Riga. But
Riga. That's right. I was there the other week. Bloody freezing. Snowing. Yeah, bloody snowing, mate.
I went to. That's the reason that I said Riga, because the only place I've been to in Latvia is Riga, and it was minus 35 wind chill.
Well, it wasn't quite that cold. This was like mid-November, but it certainly snow flurries when I left there. Yeah,
and a pretty decent forward as well in Beattie.
James Beattie. But person who's missing there, he was still playing that season. Was obviously Latiz, but was he still playing that season? I assume he was. Yeah, must have been. I think that could have been his last season. Because I'm pretty sure that was the last season of and someone out there is shouting at me now, but I'm pretty sure that was the last season of the Dell. And didn't he not score? I think he scored against Arsenal. He's at the very last game at the Dell, and I think that could have been his last game. Might have got that wrong. Of course,
I don't know. Maybe if you get yourself on a Southampton pod,
there you go.
You might find out. Should we go through their subs?
Go on.
They brought on 3 subs. Uwe Rosler.
Yeah.
And the other guy, Hassan Kashlul.
Oh, no love lost there, was there? Yeah.
He got plenty of booze there, didn't he?
We got gazumped, didn't we? He'd virtually signed, I believe. It's signed, so given his word and everything, and then stayed. I think.
Given his word, his words don't count for anything now in football. It's all about money. And the other guy,
hashtag cash fool.
Yeah, Cash. Oh, I should have put that. I jokingly put Cash Law with a.
I think it was
with a C, but
Cash Fool. I think. Yeah.
Wasn't it? Who was the other guy that played for Coventry?
Yeah, there was another guy. Beardy guy.
Bloke.
Yeah. No, I can't.
I'll come back to you.
Yeah. Go on. Yeah.
Does it begin with Y? His first name?
Yusuf Safri.
Safri. Yeah.
That wasn't it? Something like that.
I don't know, something like that, yeah. And the other guy, Draper.
Mark Draper. Villa
Draper.
Yeah. Not bad team, that.
No, very good team. But I think this team, the home team's a bit better. Yeah. We'll go through it a bit quicker. So Wright, Croft, Venus, McGreal, Haridas and Clapham. So there's a back 5 there.
Decent.
Holland, Magilton and Jammer in
do you know what? Those 3, Holland, Magilton and Wright, what an underrated midfield that is, really. When I looked at that, I looked at this, and there's another game from the previous season, I think, and they figure, and you look at it, you think, each of those 3 just complemented each other absolutely perfectly, didn't they?
Yeah, and up front, Scoey and Marcus Stewart.
Yeah, but no Jono there, I saw by that time. So Jono was sort of out of favour a bit, wasn't he? Stewart had come in and started, well, as you said, scored how many goals. But you said that was his 7th goal the week before or whatever it was. So Jono was out of favour. So Royce was on the bench. And home debut, well, subsequently, spoiler alert, home debut off the bench for Alan Armstrong.
Alan Armstrong, yeah, made his debut away to Liverpool, coming on as a sub in that game.
Yeah. And what I didn't know about this game was the ref stat. It's our old friend Barry Knight. We love him, don't we?
Yeah. I tell you what you like about Barry Wright is he's a strong referee. If there's to be honest with you, don't start me off on it again. But I've watched that game against Bolton, the 5-3.
It was cynical, mate. Everyone,
he's done nothing wrong.
Absolutely, no,
done nothing wrong. Anyway, things didn't go well at the start of this game. James Beattie, after 3 minutes, headed home from Marion Parhar's cross. I did wonder about Marion.
Can't remember that so early.
Yeah. Marion from Neighbours. Did she ever appear for?
Don't think Marion from Neighbours.
No, not from Neighbours. At Home and Away. You must remember Marion.
Got me there, mate. I don't know. I never used to. No, I was more a Neighbours fan back in the day. Certainly not Home and Away.
Yeah, but weren't they at a certain time that you could watch one and then turn over and watch the other one?
Yeah, I think probably you're right. Actually, yeah. So it was made by Marion.
Made Marion. She probably played for Forest.
Probably did.
Yeah. So we go into half time. We'll move on from that. Half time, 1-0 down. And one of the changes is a positive change. Still going back to what you were saying about the three of Holland, Magilton and Wright. But Burley decides that he's going to bring on Armstrong for his home debut. And just reading it again, just that big pause. And he takes off Jermaine Wright. And so Scully then goes to right midfield.
Yeah, he could, couldn't he?
Yeah, and then what we have is Alan Armstrong and Marcus Stewart up front, which I think, for some plans of...
And I think you hit the nail on the head there. Look at the fluidity you can have in that side. Scully was, I think some of the best football he played for us was probably wide, in that wide right position. At the time, Vino would all clapping with it, the big diagonal. Every time he'd win it, wouldn't he? Every single time.
Yeah. Then in the second half, when I sent you that note saying here's the notes for the game, but I've got to finish it. Just realised I haven't got the goal time. So these are 3 goals in the second half.
Yeah.
Scully gets a goal. Town have a free kick. Magilton he plays it in, and Scully is a tap in for him, makes it 1-1. Then there's an own goal. Although if you look at some historical. Well, I think they're called books, actually. I don't think they're all called historical things. But if you look at some books, they'll give the second goal to Alan Armstrong, but it wasn't. Armstrong's header went in off Wayne Bridge.
Yeah, it did. Bridger, yeah.
Bridger, as he's known.
Wayne Bridger.
Yeah, I don't know. Just left that R on there. Rogar at the end of that.
It's a random R.
Yeah. And then Tan had a chance. Armstrong obviously come on, and he's... What I liked about him is he put himself about. He was, all hustle and bustle.
Rugged.
What did you say he was?
Rugged.
Yeah, I'd say that was
rugged striker. And he had a bit about him, Armstrong. That was a great sign. And when you look, I think. Oh, go on. We'll get to that. But
yeah, there's a keeper mix up, and it goes and he's basically got an open goal. He's past the keeper and he just rolls the ball wide of an open goal. And when you're 2-1 up in the Premier League, that could have killed the game. But fortunately, great work. Magilton, he goes all the way down to the byline and he pulls it back, and Armstrong makes the game safe. It's 3-1. It's our 18th league game. And we're up to third with 33 points, and Southampton are in 15th.
That's incredible. I mean, it was the 13th game since we won at Leeds, which we all said was like the kickstart of that season. The 2-1 at Leeds. And what a run. We won 9, drawn 2 and lost 2. I mean, just phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. And the next week was the one, I think some of the guys mentioned it on the WhatsApp group today. The very next week was that 2-0 game at Man U, where we went to Man U, I think we're top, and better not say we might be doing this next week, and lost 2-0. But it's just, you just think about those days and where we are now, and it's just light years away, isn't it? Or 18 to be specific.
Yeah, but to be fair, putting a positive spin on it, right? I said on Saturday against Wigan that if you came down from space, and I said to you, one of these teams is bottom, you wouldn't have been able to tell which was the team at the bottom. You wouldn't have thought that was us. So there's a positive spin on it.
True. There were 2. Yeah, no, I'd agree. Yeah, at times.
But anyway, tenuous link. Unless, do you want to talk about Armstrong and talk about what a great signing he was?
I think he was. I mean, at the time, I'm not saying we needed it. We needed that. I mean, I think that was the final real nail in Jono's sort of coffin. It seems a bit harsh to say that, but he was obviously out of favour because Stuart had come in and done so well. And we've spoken to Jono, and Jono had been on the pod with Ben before. And we all said, he needed a goal, and he could have had the season potential that Stuart did. But I think Armstrong coming in was really the main reason that the manager was able to let Johnson go. I think perhaps January, February time, was it? I think I can't remember, but what a signing! You know, he came in there and he scored 8 goals. I remember him scoring a brace at Middlesbrough and stuff. He was just a bit of a non-headline signing, but just such a good, steady signing, wasn't he?
Do you remember when he did that at Middlesbrough? He put the old hand up to the crowd.
Yeah,
he was a great sign. Anyway, the tenuous link between the two games was that the Southampton manager in that 3-1 win against Southampton was Glenn Hoddle, and he now features for Tottenham Hotspur. It's the 17th of December.
We just don't throw this. We don't throw this together, do we? We don't throw it together.
Exactly.
There's always a link.
Ages. There's always a link. 17th of December, 1980. It's a 7:30 kickoff. We're at White Hart Lane. Keith Burtonshaw. I think I've said this in previous pods. I always thought his name was Keith Birkinshaw when I was younger.
Yeah, his name is Keith Birkinshaw, but anyway, we won't.
It is Keith Birkinshaw, is it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So it's not Keith Burtonshaw.
I'm pretty sure it's Keith Birkinshaw with a K. Yeah.
Well, then, see, I'm still brought back. I always thought his name was Keith Burtonshaw, and clearly he still carried on.
There was a ref back in the day, quite a well-known ref called Norman Burtonshaw, if I remember rightly, around about in the 70s, 60s, 70s.
No, I just think that I've gone all the way through my life with not pronouncing that manager correctly. Anyway, we'll call him Keith from now on. Right. In the opposition dugout was Bobby Robson. Yeah. Now, one of the things we'll go through the Spurs team first. You can fill in some of the gaps here. Danes.
It's Barry Danes, almost. Perennial understudy to Pat Jennings, but by that time, obviously Jennings was at Arsenal. Yeah.
Is there any truth in the rumour that he's actually the dad of Claire Danes, who was on the TV show Homeland?
Could possibly be. Could well be.
I think if you look at Wikipedia now, that's what I've just amended it to. McAllister.
That's Don McAllister. Yeah, big old rugged. Oh, I said that word again. Rugged.
That's twice.
Big old no nonsense fullback. Yeah.
Chris Hughton.
Yeah. Probably just before. Must be fairly young then, perhaps. Yeah. On the cusp of his international career, I guess. Then may have been. Don't know. 20.
Don't think he'd yet reached the point where him and Mick McCarthy had met and their love affair had started.
I don't think so.
No, not yet. Gary Roberts.
That's Graham Roberts.
Roberts.
Now he was an uncompromising centre half. Came from somewhere on the south coast, I believe. So it came from non-league to Spurs, I believe.
All right.
Great signing.
Okay. Lacey.
Cagney and Lacey. That's John Lacey.
John Lacey.
Yeah.
Steve Perryman.
Yeah. I think the rest need no introduction, do they?
Shall I just go with their surnames?
Go for it.
Yep. Ardiles. Villa. Hoddle. Crooks. Archibald.
Decent,
now, before we go here, I asked you this question last year when I think we covered a Tottenham game, and you spoke about your love and entertainment. Well, not love, that was a bit over the top, but your enjoyment of watching Glenn Hoddle.
Oh yeah, he's one of my favourite players of all time.
So, player. We'll go through the Ipswich team, and you tell me where he fits in that Ipswich team. Who are you going to get?
No, that's totally unfair. Go on.
Right, so the Ipswich team is Cooper, Burley, Osman, Butcher, McCall.
Okay, the only player I could leave out, and Hoddle could play. I'm sure Hoddle could play left back. Would be Steve McCall. Sorry, Steve. He's the only player I could leave out.
What if Mick Mills was in that?
Oh well, yeah, he'd have to be on the. He'd probably just edge O'Callaghan off the bench there then.
Yeah. Tyson, Walk, Muren, Gates, Brazil. And Paul Mariner, who was wearing the captain's armband.
Yeah, again, I can vaguely recall this. No Mills, he'd got injured in the old bloody 5-0 hammering of Vitsev Lodz a few weeks back, more than a few weeks back. I think 3 weeks before, maybe a month before. He'd got injured in the home game, the 5-0 game, and he used to miss 5 league games. I don't think he played again till potentially the new year. So that was a miss. But you had. We're looking at the side. It was fairly seamless because McCall could come in and play midfield. He could come in and play left back. So yeah, it's fairly seamless. And I think even though what happened in this game, we still, even without Mills for those 3 or 4 games, I don't think we lost after that.
Well, what I loved about this game, because you picked it, was thinking, right, I need to find something about this, and there is a little nugget of this on YouTube.
Oh, it's grainy.
It's about 1 minute 17 seconds long, and they'll do very well They did very well to fit in all of the goals. You'll see I've got my little notes down there to let me know what the score is.
Oh, you're keeping, yeah, you're not going to lose this, yeah.
But first we've got to mention the weather. Oh, it was terrible,
mate. I think the weather for that game mirrored the Saturday's game against Wigan, didn't it?
Yeah.
On a par with, I'd say, probably even worse actually. The wind for this game, well, judging by some of the goals, had even greater effect than it did Saturday.
So 10 minutes into the game, Spurs take the lead. There's a ball in the penalty box, and there's a lovely touch from Archibald, and he just sort of plays it towards Crooks, who fires it in from 6 yards out. But obviously this is 1980-81, and you know we're made this stern stuff. So just before 42nd minute, Murin's got a free kick. He's wide left, and Mariner beats the defender to the header. So we go 1-1 with 3 minutes to go to half time, and I think we probably would have settled for that. But then Archibald is running free around the penalty area. I don't know what, I kind of like to see some kind of gazelle now that I've written that name. Just kind of bouncing around. But he's running free.
Wildebeest on a Serengeti. Yeah.
And there's a couple of chances. So he's just, when I say around the penalty, he's not actually in the penalty area. He's not in the penalty box. He's just around
20 yards. Yeah.
There's a couple of challenges. Then the ref, I had to look at the ref. His name was John Martin. Never heard of him. I must admit, I thought it was going to be Clive Thomas, which is my dad always used to moan about.
You were sure about it. You put it, John Martin, yeah. I've heard of him, but yeah.
He gives what I think is a soft free kick, in the 45th minute, and the town players appeal, but we know why they're appealing.
It's good as a penalty stat, isn't it? It's good as a penalty.
So yeah, Glenn Hoddle steps up, 25 yards out and sticks it into the top left corner.
Swerves it into the top bin, doesn't he? Yeah.
Yeah. And he looks across apparently as he's running, and he says to Steve McCall, "You know that I could get into this team ahead of you," is what he said.
37 years time, David Diamond will tell you.
Yeah, he's going to drop you, and he's fantasy 1980-81 side. Yeah. Doug Leash, would he get in that Ipswich's 80-81 side?
It, Stat. That's not fair. I'm not having it. Probably not, because the balance was so right.
To be honest with you, the vibe I'm getting from this pod is David Diamond basically takes the 1980-81 team and dismantles it and fills it with Glenn Hoddle.
Leave it out. No, that's not fair
Kenny
at all.
Dalglish.
No, that's not fair. Kenny Dalglish, yeah, oh, Christ, yeah, difficult one. I mean, Kenny Dalglish, I suppose, played a role very similar to Gates, really.
Yeah.
Dropping deep, getting his body in. So he would be I'm not saying I'd pick him before, but he would be the comparison with Gates there.
Yeah. So
Hoddle would be the comparison with, Murin would be the closest. Yeah. Sorry, let me put that the other way. He would be the closest to Murin in that team. So let's do a comparison. There you go.
Okay. Do you think Hoddle would get in Town's current side?
I think he probably would.
Still now?
Covering from Hart, yeah, he probably would. I'm sure he could play sweeper and get it off the goalkeeper and sort of ping 40 or 50-yard diagonals. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he could.
How is his health? You mentioned that. I haven't heard anything of late.
He's out. Yeah, I think it all went quite quiet, but I think I read he was at a hospital some 2 or 3 weeks ago. So I think it happened last week in October, something like that. Well, it's happening in the Sky or BT studio, didn't it? So yeah, I think he's at a hospital and is recuperating.
So half time we're 2-1 down, and obviously Bobby Robson's in there and doing his team talk. So 10 minutes later, Gates finds himself on the left hand side of the pitch, probably about 20 yards from the byline, and he plays. It's like a cross shot.
It's not really. I've never seen a goal like it. So
it wasn't a shot, was it?
He crosses it. So it's one of these ones like when you're playing when I used to play Sunday mornings up at Gainsbury, open air, open playing fields up there. He sort of crosses it and it's going towards a penalty spot. It stops and then it sort of goes at right angles in the top corner. It's an unbelievable goal. Sort of wind assisted, but very clever.
Yeah, do you think he meant that? Do you think he was playing into the wind?
I think he probably was. Yeah, Claire Dane's dad had no chance.
No chance. He kind of looked at it and suddenly it went over his shoulder, and I think.
All right, okay. Yeah.
Get yourself onto YouTube, and you should be able to find it. And like I said, if you want to see a grainy version of that, and
it can only be described. Comes in the category of freak goals. I think that one.
Definitely. Do you think that if you're under the age of 25, you will watch this and think, is this what people used to watch football like in the 80s?
No, you'd think, it's like the red button.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So we bring it back to 2-2, but then 5 minutes later, Crooks has got a shot that's going wide. He works himself well into the edge of the box, and Perryman slid in at the far post. So that makes it 3-2 on the hour mark. Yeah. The Town aren't giving up. Murin, as I put down, a long-legged run down the left. He did. He just seemed to be. He wasn't running through custard, but I'm guessing maybe the pitch with that.
So he was just picking his knees up. But what a great Mariner header! That he was brilliant at that. He just flung himself. Yeah. Like we mentioned the game, a bit like the one he scored from that again, the Murin cross against the poles, against that Widzew Lodz at Portland. Yeah. Just throws himself in a 6-yard box. Yeah, no one's gonna stop him. Yeah, proper old-fashioned centre forward play.
So it's 3-3, 65 minutes. And the game carries on, but I think then we have the turning point. Eric Gates, kind of, if he was your finger, he'd be your little finger. Actually, got to be careful now what finger I stick up for. Yeah, be
careful. It's diminutive.
For Roberts. Yeah. Roberts was more like a thumb, wasn't he?
He was a big, greasy, fat thumb, Roberts was. Yeah,
just
bruiser.
Been eating a Greg's Cornish pasty or whatever. It was a big greasy thumb. Compared, I'm trying to compare him to
Ginster's, mate, like a Ginster's pasty to a small pork pie.
So he starts this finger and thumb are tussling with each other, and then the referee, John Martin, waves away appeals, and he sends off. He sends off Gates.
He's not happy, is he, Eric?
Gates is walking off the pitch towards the dugout.
Is that John Motson that comes along a touchline when he's in his sheepskin and puts his arm around him? Is it Motty?
I naturally thought it was Bobby Robson who somehow had got 15 yards onto the pitch with his arm around him.
I think it was Motty in his sheepskin, because I think back in the day... You think
he was doing an interview as he was going off?
Well, that's what it was, because back in the day I think the TV gantry was open to the elements, and he's just got soaking wet, and he used to write, I've had enough. Tell you what, I'm gonna make out on Bobby Robson, but I'm gonna show Eric down the tunnel and keep dry, something like that.
Do a little interview in the tunnel. So 76 minutes. He walks off. So at that point we've probably got. Well, we've got 14 minutes to hold on, which would be a good.
I think we'd take it, wouldn't we?
Yeah, a good draw. 81 minutes is a free kick, possibly Roberts. Couldn't tell.
Bloody Roberts.
It goes to Cooper, and I have no idea what he's doing.
I think the conditions. The conditions must take effect there.
Yeah, but hang on,
Going to give him a pass on that one?
No, we can give Claire Danes that one, because the ball was up in the air when Gates had a cross.
Yeah, good point.
There's no way Paul Cooper. He wasn't a big keeper, but he was not a small lad, and there's no way that the monsoon weather picked him up and twisted him in the air. He did that all himself, and he somehow saved it with his side.
Yeah,
that's a weird one.
I think he misjudged. I think it's a bit of movement there in the wind stat, and I think he just misjudged it. I like to think he did.
That's
right. What I say about Cooper that season, I think many people remember this. He was the actual supporters' player of the year that season.
He was. Yeah.
So I think this was his one mistake.
But do you think? Was there a sympathy vote? I mean, don't get me wrong, and I know Paul.
I see where you're coming from.
Was there a sympathy vote?
I see where you're coming from. As sometimes he was the only one in the building, wasn't he? Everyone else was abroad or at Wembley or wherever. Yeah, you were right.
There was a special day where you could vote, and you could only vote for somebody who was in the building, and it was at an international weekend.
Yeah, no, he did. To be fair, he had a hell of a season, didn't he?
I tell you what.
And that wasn't the season he saved all the penalties. I think that was a season or two before, wasn't it? But he had a brilliant season.
Yeah. Do you think that he'd get ahead of Gherkin now?
Oh, I think he probably. What now? Have you seen him recently? I think he'd have to shed. Even he would have to shed 1 or 2 pounds. But yeah, he was a great keeper. Yeah,
he was one of my favourite.
And if I want to put it out there to Noel, if he's listening, Noel Baker, I do rate Cooper as highly as I do Richard Wright. I do rate Cooper as much as I rate Richard Wright. I just had to get right someone else from 1980-81 in that team.
See, I think you're going to set Noel off, because you said that you rate Paul Cooper at the same level as Richard Wright, and I'm a little bit with Noel.
I'm taking that back. I rate him slightly higher, but I had to squeeze someone from a different era in that all-time Ipswich side.
I can see Noel now is on his laptop, and he's gone, oh, hang on, he thinks Paul Cooper is better than Richard Wright. But anyway, Paul Cooper makes a hash of this, whether he's better than Richard Wright or not. Hits him on his side. The ball bounces to Archibald, who fires the ball into the roof of the net.
Predator goal. Yeah.
The Town players, particularly Butcher, just sink to their knees.
Yeah.
They're thinking, we had 9 minutes left to hang on. And then in the 88th minute, there's a free kick to the left of the penalty area, and it's a simple pass into Ardiles.
Doesn't mess with this one. Rifles it in.
It's a lovely shot. One touch into the back of the net. So we stay third.
It's just incredible. Again, I just had a look at this. So 20th game of the season, just a second defeat. And did that knock us out of our stride? Not really, because we weren't beaten again till our 33rd game on the 28th of March, for Christ's sake. And then, of course, it slightly, incredibly fell. Everything conspired against us, really, and it sort of fell apart. But I know we go on about it. What a season. Unbelievable. Yeah. I mean, Spurs, great. Spurs finished 10th and
won the FA Cup.
Won the cup. Cup, yeah.
Did well.
Yeah.
So now let's go
Enjoyed that, mate. Enjoyed that
forward to 1999-2000, and I'm sure there's some link. There is a little link in here that we could probably find. I think at the very least, I'm going to start with their both football matches.
Yeah, that's a good link.
Right.
Both played. Oh no. Oh, actually, hang on. I've got a number one. from 1980. What do we think? Number one, December the 17th, 1980.
Is it
probably
soft sell?
No. Probably. What can I put it? I'll probably get this one. The most successful pop group, pop being the word of the arguably the late 70s, not arguably of the late 70s, early 80s, without question.
Pop group.
See,
I'm worried about your definition of pop.
No, well, this is pop.
ABBA.
Spot on. See. What do we
Trooper.
Think? Oh, Stan, come on.
I just said that because of Paul Cooper.
There you go. So that was probably what nailed it. Nailed it.
Super Cooper. That's what they should have sung. That was the B-side.
It was. Yeah. Remember throwing.
I can't remember how Super Trooper goes now.
Super.
So it would be like Super Cooper, slightly better than Richard Wright, something like that.
Slightly better than Righty. Yeah.
Good stuff. Number one. Now I'm trying to think of other ABBA songs. Waterloo, and then there's that other one that you always tell me that Ben says is the best musical.
Well, not Ben. It's acknowledged that SOS is the other one that's pretty much acknowledged as being one of the greatest pop songs ever written, apparently by, I don't know, several music luminaries. Ben does acknowledge that, but not necessarily Ben, but several other music people, for some reason.
I'm a bit worried, and I can hear some of our listeners calling SOS now that we're turning this pod into a
let's go. So I just digress slightly. So we got onto the game. So it's December 1999, 18th 1999, end of the millennium.
Yeah, just before the millennium bug.
That's the one.
Did you make money when the millennium bug came about?
No, I don't think so.
I did.
Did you?
Yeah, I kind of worked in like finance, IT, and then clearly everything, when it turned around, they thought that lights were going to go off and cars were going to fall off the Orwell Bridge.
Yeah.
Ipswich were probably going to get promoted that season. So we had to come in New Year's Eve and
on
New Year's
quadruple
Day.
Time or something. Time off in lieu, but a week off in lieu.
I think it's fair to say that the AXA probably won't claim the money back, but a lot of the time we just spent playing cricket in the office.
Well, what else do you do when it's quiet in the office?
Yeah, I don't know what it was in 1999. I think we were getting paid nearly £500 a day, which was
which was fairly
very
good,
nice. Right, so we're at home. It's Division 1. We're at home to West Brom, and it's Brian Little's West Brom.
Brian Little.
Well, not it wasn't Brian's little West Brom. There wasn't a Brian who had a little and a big West Brom. It was Brian Little was the manager.
Brian Little's.
This is my little West Brom. But my big one. Yeah. It's a strange thing, that West Bromwich.
West Bromwich Albion. West Bromwich. Yeah. Player Brian Little played a couple of times for England. Do you know that?
Did he?
I think made his debut. I believe I got this right again. Made his debut same night, I think, 1975, as David Johnson did against Wales, I believe, at Wembley. Which was the game before that 5-1 beaty Scotland game. I think I've got that right.
Brian Little, did he manage Wales, or am I getting him confused with someone else? Brian Flynn.
Getting him confused with. Brian Little was Villa. I think best football really was at Villa, which I'm pretty sure he was at when he played for England. I think he picked up injuries, so he didn't really fulfil his true promise really. But I'm sure he played up front with like Andy Gray at Villa when he was first there and stuff.
Yeah,
good player.
When you said Brian Little played for England, I'm thinking, I'm sure he managed Wales, which doesn't really matter now. But yeah, Brian Flynn, getting them mixed up. So let's have a look. So this is on the Saturday the 18th, and on the previous Monday, Monday before, Town had played at home in the FA Cup third round. What on earth are we playing an FA Cup third round tie in December, Dave?
I can't really recall. Perhaps it was something to do with the Millennium Bug, was it?
Never thought about that.
I'm sure that's what it was. The fixture. They couldn't. It was the fixtures were all over the place. I'm sure.
Imagine what would happen. They'd go number 20 Ipswich Town versus number 47 Southampton, and then at midnight on New Year's Eve it changes, and suddenly we're at home or we're away to Accrington Stanley or something like that.
Exactly what it is. So yeah, I can't remember why that was that season. 2000 Euros. Don't know.
Did Man United? Was that the year they didn't do it and join that World Club thing?
Possibly was. Can't remember.
Yeah. Anyway, we played in the FA Cup tie in the third round, and we lost to Southampton.
To a Dean Richards goal.
Well, there's your link. The
linkage where nobody knows where it's going to stop. There it is.
Before we start, we did talk about the game against Southampton. The first game of this pod against Southampton in the Premier League, we won 3-1. Gary Croft played in that game, but this game against West Brom, he didn't feature because he started a 4-month prison sentence for driving whilst disqualified and trying to pervert the court of justice.
Oh, is that what it is? PCOJ, perverting the course of justice. That course,
the course of justice. Yeah.
Of course it is. Yeah, he wasn't. I remember. So my oldest George was about 8 then. I remember when he first came back, which is obviously in the new year, getting his autograph afterwards with the with his tag showing through his sock there.
Did he go up to him? Did Jordan go up to him and say, "Excuse me, Gary, can I have your autograph?" And he said, "Yeah, no problem." And then suddenly it started flashing. He went, "No, I have to do it." He had to get home. He had a
curfew. Got to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, laughing at someone else's misfortune. But anyway, I think he was in prison for about 2 months, and he came out early with
good behaviour.
But that's not the important thing about this game. Let's go through the West Brom. No, let's go through the Town team. Stockwell, Clapham, Mowbray, Brown, McGreal. So that's again Stockwell and Clapham at wing backs, and Mowbray, Brown, and McGreal.
This is Stockwell's last season, wasn't it?
Yeah. Holland, Magilton, and Scowcroft with Johnson and Naylor up front.
Yeah, decent.
Were we short strikers?
Were we short of strikers?
Well, I like. Don't get me wrong. I like Bam Bam a lot. Great player. But I kind of think I might not have played him. When you consider that Jermaine Wright's on the bench, I'd have had Scowcroft and Jono up front.
Yeah, you'd have thought so, but I don't know. Maybe we had a cut time. No, it wasn't midweek. That was the Monday before, wasn't it? But maybe the Christmas period coming up. One eye on that.
Well, it could well be. So the West Brom team, Alan Miller was in goal. Mm-hmm. No idea who he is. Gabardon.
It's Danny Gabardon, isn't it? Yeah.
So when did he retire?
I don't know, but he's on like TalkSport and stuff now, isn't he? He's always on. Yeah.
Van Blurk.
Jason, I think. Jason Van Blurk. I don't know. He didn't know.
Yeah. Raven.
Paul Raven. Yeah.
I know. Yeah. Sigurdsson.
Lars Sigurdsson, I think. Yeah.
And Laris Sigurdsson, I think his name might have been.
Laris, yeah. Laris.
Carbon.
Yeah. Matt Carbon, I think.
Yeah. Quinn.
Well, one of them. I don't know. Jimmy, is it? I don't know. One of the Quins.
Jimmy, Alan.
Jimmy, yeah. Stephen.
Mickey,
yeah. Mighty.
This other guy, like I said, he used to have another name, but he's now called Sneakers.
Richard Sneakers.
Yeah.
I think he was Dutch.
Yeah. Marcus Evans. I don't know who Evans was.
Chris Evans.
Yeah. Lee Hughes.
Yeah, Lee Hughes. Well, another one was detained at Her Majesty's pleasure.
Yeah. And this next player should have been detained at His Majesty's pleasure. George Santos, I think.
Absolute brick shithouse.
He was a unit. I tell you what,
bloody mountain of a man.
For me, I think that really kind of he cemented the team that Joe Royle wanted to get when he signed him. Santos in
destroyer, wasn't he? Absolute destroyer. Yeah.
Anyway, Town take the lead in 6 minutes. McGreal, he's got the ball he takes the ball with the halfway line. Hang on, McGreal with a ball from the halfway line. Read my notes. Scully's in the box, does what he does. He did brilliantly. Yeah. Rises up with the defender, just knocks it down to Jono, who beats the keeper. 6 minutes gone. Town are 1-0 up, and that was Johnson's 14th goal of the season.
Pretty good going, wasn't it? Pretty good going. He must have, I'm sure, he must have fell away. Well, obviously we got, I suppose, 99, 2000, we got Stewart in, but I'm sure that season he didn't score no more than like 20 odd, did he? Maybe I got that wrong. So he must have fallen away towards the end of the season. But what a player at that level! What a player he was that season. Well,
but you almost said that a bit dismissively, like, he didn't score, much more than.
Well, 20. No, you know what I mean. But if he's got 14 goals by the end of December, I'm pretty sure he had perhaps only ended only. What am I saying? What a great season! But his goals got us up, for Christ's sake. But 20 odd, so he fell off a little bit.
Then the Town have a chance. Scowcroft, no, Magilton. West Brom felt clear with two poor headers. They're heading it out, and the ball goes to Magilton on the edge of the box, and his rise and effort is pushed wide by Alan Miller. I think that was in front of the north stand. Mm-hmm. Then Town have another chance. Magilton's free kick comes across, and Scoey hits the crossbar. So we're peppering the goal
in the ascendancy.
And then the 27th minute, Town get their second goal. Holland puts in a high ball, and the keeper he drops the ball, and Scoey picks it up, and he prods a low ball into the back of the net. I think he just probably stabs his foot at it. So that's 27 minutes. We're 2-0 up, and clearly we're on a roll there. So
cruising.
West Brom decide that they're going to help us. Laris Sigurdsson, he tussles with Johnson, and then he starts a melee. When he pushes his hand into Jono's face, and then he faces up to Richard Naylor. I think he clearly wants some. Yeah. No, I don't know why he does that. And then the referee calls him over, and he does my favourite thing, which is, here you go, yellow card for the push in the face.
Yellow card. Have one of them.
There's a red card. Off you go. Yeah. 29 minutes. Town are 2-0 up, and West Brom are down to 10 men. Surprisingly, it gets to half time, and we're only 2-0 up. Second half, Brian Little thinks, come on, we need to give Town a bit more of a hand here. So 6 minutes later, Richard Naylor's clear on goal, and Matt Carbon fouls him, and it's a straight red, I believe, in the 51st minute.
Was bloody Barry Knight ref? Who was ref? Yeah. Don't know.
It needed a strong referee, this game.
Didn't it?
Brian Little asked for the referee never to referee a game again for.
I did it when he did a little bit of research for these games. I went on, and there's still sort of something on it. If you put this game in on, if you Google this game, there was a thing from John Weil, who I think was the president of West Brom at the time, and they call it the Battle of. And this was only like 3 or 4 seasons ago. Flashback to the game, they call it the Battle of Portman Road, for Christ's sake. Because it's subsequently what went on.
Yeah, exactly. So 51 minutes. We're 2-0 up. West Brom are 9 men. Neil Midgley's been brought on to make his debut. And then on the 66th minute, West Brom failed to clear the ball, and it comes out to McGreal. He's on the right wing. And as I put down here, what was he doing there? He's attacking the Churchmans, and he's practically where you normally sit, I'd say. I know you're in the director's box, but where you normally sit. Yeah. And he crosses, and Midgley climbs above the defender to head a high ball into the top of the net.
I remember it well. Yeah. McGreal had that though, didn't he? McGreal was a good footballer, wasn't he? Footballing centre half. Great player. Yeah.
Do you think he'd get into our current?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And 77 minutes.
80-81. Stop it. Yes. This current side. Yes. Yeah.
This is a player that I always like, but I like some players just based upon and some people just based upon their names. I think they sound good. Fabian de Freitas, which for me sounds like this Spanish pie making company, and that's what I'm thinking. And it's a good goal by the Baggies. He sees the ball end up on the edge of the penalty area. Sneakers pass finds de Freitas. He's near the penalty spot, and he just fires it in. 3-1. There's the consolation. The game ends 3-1, and all of the Town players and Matt Holland goes round and applauds all of the stands, and we go off.
And all hell breaks loose.
No, see, because I wanted to attract some of the younger listeners. These people who are in their late teens or whatever. So I've gone with a word here called beef. I don't know if you got that, but on my notes it says beef because I believe
had a beef.
that the young people will call it. There's a bit of beef going on. So West Brom, I got their post-match warm down. Yeah, I put up there, but I thought we wouldn't have a post-match warm up.
We knew what you meant. Oh, just warming up with coach. Heating's gone on the coach, so
And I put down what I said. 2 players become embroiled in an unsavoury incident with town steward.
So eloquently puts that. Embroiled in an unsavoury incident. Yeah.
One steward had minor injuries, and then the police were involved, but no charges were pressed. Right. Fortunately, Gary Croft wasn't there. Otherwise, if they'd have asked him a question, he'd have probably said, "It wasn't me. I wasn't there.
wasn't there, Gov."
Not suggesting that that's what Gary Croft would have done.
Yeah,
allegedly. So that was, as they say, John Weil. I used to like to call him John Wiley.
Okay. Yeah.
But I think that was maybe to do with Wiley
Coyote.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well,
okay. Yeah. So John Weil.
What
did he call this game again?
The Battle of Portman Road.
The Battle of Portman Road.
He did.
I like that. So at the Battle of Portman Road, it was 23, and the disappointing thing was the crowd. 14,712.
Yeah, last Saturday. Well, it was December the 18th. So it was the last Saturday before Christmas. So maybe that did have an effect back then. But that's a very low. I think it was pretty much mirrors the crowd that there was last Saturday. It's about 14,000, wasn't it? Just over, maybe a bit smaller than that.
Sorry, Dave. Do you think the crowd was affected by the impending Millennium Bug?
See, this is what.
Some people didn't go out of their house. They wore tin hats like Collanders on.
Exactly. The world's going to end. That's it. So you could be onto something there, Stan. But another. Well, we know what we're building to that season. So third, ultimately we finished third. But 23 league games, 42 points. Yeah, pretty good going. I think eighth game of a run since we lost 3-1 at home to since we lost 3-1 away to 3-1 away to Huddersfield, and then I think carried on. We weren't beaten for another 18. That run consisted of 18 games until we lost. I can remember this game, Portsmouth at home, early March, I think it was.
Yeah.
Claridge scored, I believe. What a season, though. No spoilers. Well,
no spoilers.
We've covered it before, but what a season.
So
I won't do the number one. It's quite boring, that one.
Oh no, give me a clue.
Okay. Number one. How can I put it? A real ancient. It's Christmas. Remember, it's Christmas. Yeah. A real ancient pop star. Shock releases Christmas hit.
Oh, this is not. I'm gonna go. Did Cliff Richard have the Millennium Prayer?
Oh, you're all over it tonight. You're all over it. The Millennium Bug. No, the Millennium Prayer. Oh,
but you realise he couldn't sing that song on the 1st of January 2000 afterwards. The lyrics just all kind of...
That's just gone, isn't it?
Dissolved. Let's bring us up to a time when the Millennium was something that we just laughed about and just thought about how we earn lots of money, possibly. It's Saturday, the 20th of December 2014. It's a 3 p.m. kickoff. Town are at home in the Championship. Mick McCarthy. And the opposition manager is Karanka.
Aita Karanka,
yeah.
Aita Karanka, man.
Yeah. I always think that he's got a letter missing off the first of his name.
Yeah.
Mater Karanka?
Possibly. But do you know what? This is still one of my favourite games, I think, of the last few seasons, this one. And certainly one of the goals, one of my favourite goals for
we know what goal you're on. We'll come to that. Shall we?
Yeah. But this is one of the games where, so it was where were we? We were second, were we? Yeah. We were second. I'm sure Borough up there, and then around the playoffs. And this is one of those games where we've all seen these games in seasons in the last, 10 seasons, something like that, where you go to a game and think, oh yeah, if we win, this is one of those games where we didn't, not say bottle it, but we just, it was such a good game. Go on.
It was a good performance from
brilliant.
From the then manager. I think that was the high points. This was a good team playing good football.
This was probably, arguably, this game, given where we were, the position we were after the game, was the high point. Well, no, not quite. It was going to be
Brentford.
Before that, after that, we played early, didn't we?
But interestingly, like I say, it was a top of the table clash. But Mick went with his sub goalkeeper, so Bart was in goal.
Yeah.
Funny how times change now, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we had Chambers. Looks like Chambers was at right back.
Yeah, he would have been.
Smith and Berra in the middle, and Johnny Parr.
Johnny Parr. I quite like Johnny Parr. Good footballer. Always a bit. Sometimes had that look. I don't know if Mick always thought he was a bit lightweight. So when you compare him to, say, who latterly came, Knudsen, he was lightweight, but just infinitely better footballer.
Yeah, infinitely.
Yeah.
Underlined. Yeah. Midfield of Anderson, Bishop, Skews, and Tab.
Decent. Yeah, I quite like that. Yeah.
Tabby Alonso and the Shamrock strike force of Murphy and McGoldrick.
They were on fire then, weren't they? Absolutely on fire. Good side, mate. You're looking at looking through that side, you're looking at Berra probably at his peak then. He's a rock, wasn't he? Absolute rock.
He was. Well, I'll tell you what, it's a good team, and I think you look back now and think we've probably got a really good right back in that team in Chambers. Do you think his career could go full circle with Town and end up as a right back?
Oh, so let's talk today, I've heard. But potentially
Cameron Carter-Vickers.
Yeah, that would be a good signing, I think. And you're right. Unless he would move Pennington there, but I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway. My sister-in-law calls him Paddington.
Paddington.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So I often kind of see him when he's running, and I think he's wearing like little red boots on or stuff.
I was going to say, is that something about his passing? He looks like he's passing in Wellington boots. No,
there you go.
He's a good player, Penny. I think he's done quite a decent season. Really.
Yeah, no, I do like him. And we bring on 3 subs in this game, which is Brew, Darren Ambrose, and this other guy leapt off the bench, Salmon.
Connor Salmon. Yeah, again, steady. Yeah, Brew was decent that season. Sort of bit of a breakthrough. Ambrose on his return.
Was that his 3rd return, I think?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, I think it was, yeah. So the Borough team, Dimmy, I went with the names at this point. Konstantopoulos.
The one.
Where was he from?
I'd assume he possibly is Greek or Cypriot, maybe. It could be Cypriot.
We've got to be careful. Yeah, it could be Cypriot. Joe could be here saying he's Cypriot. You know, Joe's got Cypriot blood in him.
Oh, has he? Didn't know that.
Yeah. Joe puts right. Emilio Nsue.
Nsue. Yeah.
The next player is a great player. Daniel Ayala.
Yeah. Don't know this next player.
Omaruo.
Means nothing to me at all. No.
Have I spelt the name wrong?
No idea. Probably.
George Friend.
Yep, still there.
Albert Adoma. Another great player.
Yeah.
Grant Ledbetter.
Yeah.
Adam Clayton.
Adam Reach, scorer of spectacular goals this season.
Patrick Bamford. Don't like him.
No, never have done.
Jelle Vossen. They brought on 3 subs in Lee Tomlin, Enrique Martinez, and Milos Velikovic. No, same here.
The other 2 mean nothing to me.
21,187 turned up to Portman Road.
That's better.
Yeah. It's the times we want to get back to.
Yeah, man.
So, chance in the first half, Anderson, he fires over after a deft touch. Then on the 25th minute, it's a lovely
play.
Yeah, it's actually both, but the play for both of the goals is good. But yeah, this one, Bishop, he slips a pass into Tab. It's a great pass.
Yeah. No, disguised pass, isn't it?
Yeah. An Andre Dizelle type pass now, would you say?
Yeah, probably the only one who would play that sort of pass. Yeah, I remember this pass well. Yeah, he's a disguised one. Brilliant ball.
And he passed it in the Tab, and he took it to the byline. He cuts it back to McGoldrick. His shot was blocked by the keeper. Yeah, it was a good save, and it ricocheted to Murphy, who fired in, and that was his 14th goal of the season.
Yeah.
So we're 1-0 up after 25 minutes. Then McGoldrick gets a yellow card just after that for diving. Although Omaru, we have no idea who he is. He's already on a yellow. And to me, he looks to have fouled McGoldrick.
Yeah, ref takes the easy option then, I think. Yeah.
Clearly, I mean, if Barry Knight was there, he'd have sent Omaru off. He'd have known what the laws were.
Probably sent Karanka off as well for protesting.
So both teams are kind of settling for going in at 1-0 for Ipswich, and then the second minute of added time, one of the greatest bits of passing in Mick McCarthy's career as manager.
It's my favourite goal. I mean, Murphy scored some bloody bangers in that season. Yeah. I remember Cresswell scored a ridiculous one against Crystal Palace and stuff. But for sheer football, this goal's up there with my favourites in the whole McCarthy era, really. Brilliant goal. Well,
the thing I love about this goal, first of all, is that the pass, and there's McGoldrick, Chambers, and Bishop, triangles, bang, ping, like you say, like that, everything that Mick McCarthy's known about, quick little triangles, move, pass and move.
It's a great goal.
Bishop whips a ball in, but clearly we're a bit worried because we're thinking there's only Tabby in the box.
What I like about this, though, if you remember, when the ball finally rests with Bishop, it's such a class move. He just gets the ball out of his feet. He makes himself like half a yard, then he whips it in.
Yeah.
And what a finish. It's like a bloody torpedo, isn't it?
Yeah, Tabby beats the two centre-halves. And I think, if we do this again in 20 years' time or whatever this game, he's going to have beaten, I reckon, 7'6" strikers. Because in my mind, they're massive, and I just think that folklore is going to grow. And
it gets Ayala, so it would have been Ayala probably, and probably Maruma. I can't remember. So he's probably sounds like he's about 6'3".
He does. So it's very, very tall sounding name. Yeah. And whereas you think about it, Peter Crouch has got a silly name because Crouch. You think it would be Peter stand up really tall.
We might find out how tall he is in January, Stat.
Well, I think you can just go onto Google and have a look. I think he's 6'7", don't
He doesn't have to be here.
Or go on Twitter. Just say, sorry, how tall are you? Well, I'd like to know when you come to Portman Road so I can measure you myself.
Yeah, good point. Yeah. No, I don't think that will quite happen somehow.
Be nice.
Well, it'd be all right, but I think it's probably wages would be a bit prohibitive, I'd say.
I kind of liken. I like to share the Ipswich Town rumours with my mum. Now, my mum.
What's your mum's take on things? Is she?
Well, I said, you never guess who Ipswich are linked with, and I was talking to my dad, and I said Peter Crouch. And my mum, who has a little bit of an interest in football, it's something to talk to me about. If not, we just kind of sit there.
Is she married to that girl that won the?
She went, Peter Crouch, coming to Ipswich.
Wow.
You're joking, aren't you?
Yeah.
So I think that says it all.
Yeah, no, it's not going to. If Stat's mum doesn't believe it, it ain't happening.
Yeah. Borough have a chance, which I thought was worth mentioning towards the end of the rest of the game. Some point in the game, I haven't written the minutes, but Reach, he tries to lob Bart from 30 yards. Who was at it then? He was.
Oh, mate, it's paving the way for a spectacular.
Borough kind of backpedals a little bit and then just heads off the line. Town hit the post as a corner. Murphy's header is blocked, and it comes to Smith, whose strike hits the post.
It's harder to miss that one, I think.
Yeah, I think so. So the game ended 2-0. We went from 4th up to 2nd. We were 1 point behind Bournemouth, and that was our 8th win from 11 home games, and defeated once in 18. Now, I don't know about you, but those stats, 8 wins from 11 home games, is nothing like this season.
No, it's not, Stat. No, that's probably a combination of about 3 seasons home games, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting, again, do a bit of digging on this game, that Karanka acknowledged Bishop as being head and shoulders the best player on the park. You look 4 years ago, that is now, 4 seasons ago. And just injuries has just taken it. Oh, hopefully he'll be back. He's back around the squad now, but injuries has just robbed him of what he should have been, probably could have been, probably. When he's looking at outstanding, wasn't he? Outstanding that season.
If you look at Lambert with Sears, and I think the thing with Paul Lambert, he's worked very well with these players. If he gets time, gets Teddy on the pitch and stuff like that. But Teddy Bishop and Andre Dazelle in the same midfield,
probably a bit of a luxury. Luxury. Probably not going to happen. But it's good that Bishop's back and fit, and clearly he's fit and he's around the squad. Otherwise, it wouldn't be. I know he started the other week, but it's good to see him back.
So let's finish so we finished the games on a high point, a 2-0 win, and up to 2nd, a point off 1st, and that wasn't that long ago. So let's let's think the good times could be back soon.
Yeah, the good times. And I have got a cracking now. I don't usually do the more what I'd call up-to-date number ones, but this one is a good one, mate. This one is a good one.
Right.
Clue.
We'll struggle with 14, 15.
Oh, you'd like this one. Yeah. You'd like this one. It's I can't. I'm just going to come right out, mate. It's Uptown Funk by Bruno Mars and Mark Ronson.
Wow.
That is a banger, isn't it? I didn't realise it was that long ago, for Christ's sake.
I think if you go to, certainly if you went to certain schools around Ipswich and around 2014, 15, that particularly in PE or the sort of more of the dance kind of bit of it, they would have had Uptown Funk blaring out through the school. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. So we're going to move on to some birthdays. And I thought this birthday jumps out at me. Jimmy Robertson is 74 on the 17th of December. And all I've written down here...
My big sister and Daryl Jones's favourite player. He's got a little picture of him that he's put on... He's tweeted before of him in that little number 7 shirt, Daryl.
That's it.
With his orange Wembley Trophy football.
The notes I put down here is he's your favourite player.
And at the time, yes, of course he was. Yeah.
You know what I didn't realise about him? I didn't realise that he played for Tottenham and Arsenal before he came to us.
Played for Tottenham and Arsenal. Jimmy Robertson actually scored Spurs beat Chelsea in the 1967 Cup final. And I think he scored the opening goal, Jimmy Robertson. Yeah. And also one of the few players that scored for both teams in a North London derby as well. I mean, quite a coup, really. We might have even covered this, but just quickly. So Robson's first full season, so 68, 69, 69, 70, coming towards the end of that season, we are struggling. We can't score a goal. We can't buy a win. And the board sanctions 90,000, astronomical figure, for Robson to go and buy Frank Clark from QPR, Sniffer's brother, and Jimmy Robertson, this out-and-out winger from Arsenal. So a bit of a real headline signing. And I think up to that, we'd been on a run of 13 games, 1 win, 3 draws, 9 defeats. So we are sliding out of the league. But I think we win with them 2. We win 4 out of the last 7 and stay up. So, yeah, it did the job. Robertson, I think, he was great. He was a real out-and-out proper winger, And I know you've seen this footage of him on YouTube, proper winger. And if he was, say, I think 50,000 as part of the deal, Robson being Robson, sold him 2 seasons later to Stoke for 80,000, so made a profit on him. But a great signing for the town at the time. I think, he let him go. I think by that time we had obviously Lambert coming through, Clive Woods as well, and the manager was starting to shape his team. So sold him. He had a good career, I think, at Stoke. Played over 100 games for Stoke as well, and went on to play I think he went on to play for it was at Tulsa Roughnecks, I think, in the North American Soccer League.
See, I don't think he did because I looked it up, but I thought Tulsa Roughnecks.
I think it was Seattle. You looked that up, didn't you?
Seattle I think it was Sounders.
Seattle. Yeah. I reckon he played against Tulsa Roughnecks, though. I hope he did.
Made up team, never happened.
There you go.
I tell you what, I'd like to know your knowledge on the next one because my knowledge is pretty slim. Sure. So anybody who's out there, I want your ears being pricked up and say, let's see whether we can track this man down. Yeah. His name's Bob Mays.
Bobby Mays, yeah. I think I saw that. I seem to remember he was the same age virtually the same age, same school year, same sort as Dizelle, Jason, that is. And,
they're both 51 now, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. I think he played like local county football, and I'm sure he did with with Dizelle, and they sort of came through like together. But no, I'm not even sure he made a full. Did he play? I think he made 1 sub appearance. Is that right?
Came on as sub. I want to say probably came on as sub. I think it was 88, 89. I think it was 21. And I want to say that was that around full members cup time?
Yeah,
system, something like that, or a League Cup game. The biggest claim to fame that I could find is that he went to Stoke High School. And I tell you what, all the best people went to Stoke High School. Yeah, big up the black and gold on Maidenall approach.
Big up, yeah. He, I seem to remember whether I think so. 88 would I probably not. He'd have been playing a level above me, but I'm pretty sure he went to play local. Not after that, he moved on and played local. I remember him playing like for Berrytown, Felixstowe, Sudbury, teams like that. Local football. Yeah. I'm pretty sure he went on to play. Did I make a note? Where did he go? Oh, I don't know. Yeah, non-league. I've got So sort of like, I think, Bury, Sudbury, Felixstowe. I just think he drifted in the non-league scene, really.
Yeah. And the next one is a born on this day, and it's a very sad born on this day. Kevin Beattie would have been 65 on the 18th of December.
Yeah. Do you know what? I've just made one comment about that, really. I think it's just, for me, the low point of a truly terrible year for the club, really.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, let's see if we can stay up for the beat. That would be good.
Absolutely. I mean, because Mark Murphy's playing this great escape thing, isn't he? So, let's hope so. But that was a real shock, I think, to everybody, not just people like me that saw him play, and and obviously considering him Ipswich is great, certainly the greatest player I ever saw in a Town shirt. But that affected a lot of people. Hence, for his funeral, just the numbers that turned out for his funeral procession down Portman Road and stuff. Yeah. Sad. But I think you're talking about putting something out tomorrow, aren't you? Apparently.
Yeah, I think talking to Rich about celebrating his birthday and stuff like that. But sadly missed, and never forgotten. And as you said, Ipswich's greatest ever player,
without question. Certainly great. Yeah, without question. I think it comes every single poll, and I'm sure for the good years to come, he'll be that player. Yeah. Well remembered. Fondly, mate. Fondly. Yeah. Sad day. Good stuff, mate. Enjoyed that.
There we go.
Enjoyed that. I guess we better do some plugs, don't we? So February the 16th. What's happening? Something's happening February the 16th. We have the blue. Mate, yes, you do. We have the Blue Monday. We have the Blue Monday Curve Bar. It was the one that was postponed because Sky rudely decided to show the West Brom game live. So it was postponed from November, and it's been rearranged for February the 16th at the Curve Bar. I think from 7 o'clock onwards, which is after the Stoke home game.
Is that where we were going to measure Peter Crouch?
That's when we're going to measure Peter Crouch. Hopefully he'll turn up. We're going to measure how high he is. And tickets are literally selling like the proverbial hotcakes, apparently.
They are.
Apparently they are. So I think you can get your tickets online.
We're not just saying that, are we? People are actually buying the ticket. They are.
They really are. You can get your tickets online from eventbrite.com.
Yeah. And I think, like you said, obviously there's some very famous people that were attending before, and you have to go back to some of the previous pods who were coming along. You mentioned about the fact that Sky had changed the date of for the West Brom game. So Sky have actually they've apologised. If I understood, they've written to Ben, and they've also, because they're pulling out of cycling, they just thought, well, the least that they could do. So Geraint Thomas is coming along with Sports Personality of the Year award,
and going along with the Spotty Trophy. Yeah. And the yellow jersey.
Yeah.
In fact, I heard he's cycling. He's cycling from Wales.
I'm a bit worried that at some point in that Eventbrite, someone's going to kind of corner me and say, look, I paid £8 because I thought I was going to see Geraint Thomas or whoever else I said from the X Factor. Yeah. That's happening. But like I said, I'm a little bit concerned that the way that I operate, I like to see a plan. I like to know what people are doing. I like to know what timings.
You like structure. You just like structure, Stat, don't you? You like structure in your life.
Well, I'm a bit worried that I'll just turn up.
Man. Don't worry. I'm sure there'll be. Ben will have a plan in place. In fact, I know he has. He's working on it. I know.
Good old Ben. So what have we got coming up? What's the game we got on Saturday?
So we've got coming up. So this Saturday we've got Sheffield United, return of Dids, return of McGoldrick, who have scored a very good goal the other night, and it's just never injured.
Never injured. Maybe he's playing under a manager who probably recognises that it's not all about putting a shift in. And
I think it might be that. I don't know, but I'm looking. Ben says obviously Ben has seen Sheffield United 3 or 4 times this season, and he reckons we'll appreciate seeing Sheffield United in the flesh as such. Free flowing. Like to play anywhere. Bloody centre half plays left wing, and so it should be interesting.
Well, is John Duncan the manager?
Well, I think we'll be hard pressed to get anything. I'll say it. I used to say it for away games, but I think I'll take a point. Now. I think that one.
Do you
could
think
be a good game, that one?
In the build up to the game, as the week goes ahead and stuff like that, will there be talk about will he celebrate or not against us? I don't care about that. If he scores a goal, celebrate.
Celebrate, mate. Yeah, absolutely.
I hope he doesn't score a great goal, because if he scores a great goal, I'm concerned that I might clap.
Yeah. No, he was good for us, and just his career never really fulfilled. He could have been so much for us, but injuries just had an effect.
So Rich and Harry will be well, Harry's probably now delving deep into the Sheffield United forums and stuff.
As we speak, Rich and Harry will be here for the preview show on Monday, and it's the flagship.
Friday.
Flagship show. Oh, sorry, did I say Monday? Friday, sorry. Yeah. The flagship show on Sunday, and we're probably not going to be back next week, are we? Christmas week, are we?
Well, I don't know about you, but I thought, I mean, you said to me, did I fancy coming away with you for Christmas and stuff like that? So we're off to the Easter Islands, the two of us, which will be very nice.
I'm looking forward to that. Yeah.
Well, I just kind of like the fact that you said, where do you want to go?
We're going to get away and get our sort of creative juices flowing to come up with some more ideas for the history pod.
I thought that you said to me, that your plan was to kind of bring in all religious events at one time. So we're off to the Easter Island at Christmas time, which I like. It's a nice little touch there.
Oh, cheers, mate. I always think of you. We did have a request from, I know this perhaps won't sit well with you. We did have a request from Jules for a 70s special, a Robson 70s. Well,
we'll have to do that.
We'll have to do that. So we'll certainly for Jules and Ian, our other fan, we'll certainly have to do some work on that.
We could maybe get Jules on here. I mean, obviously,
I think we should. Yeah.
Appreciating the past that he's had. We'll have to do it before his curfew at 8 o'clock or stuff. But yeah, let's have it.
Yeah, let's get him on. Yeah.
Jules is going to be around my house now, beating me up.
Well, we've got a lot in common with you. I'll tell you another time. Yeah.
Share it for the seventh pod.
A lot in common with Jules about his golf connections and all sorts. But yeah, all good. So yeah, that's it. Stat remember. So you can be found on Twitter on
at Trompex3. Although I must admit, tweets per day have kind of dropped. I'm hoping during the Christmas holiday they might rise.
Stats profile. Oh God, he doesn't like that. You can reach me at David Diamond 3. If you've got any requests for games that perhaps you feel we've missed or something like that, that'd be great to hear from you. Stat, if I don't speak to you before then, man, have a great Christmas. Blimey, all that time you've got off. I think I'm back. Hang on, 25th. I think I'm back on the 27th. Might be off the 28th though.
What day are you back after New Year?
Probably hang on. When's New Year's Day's on the Tuesday. Probably the next day.
Yeah, same here.
I don't know. I might have some holiday owing. I don't know, but yeah. So you're back because schools are back like the 3rd, aren't they?
Yeah, and we're back in on the 2nd PD day. So
what goes on a PD day? I've always wondered that. Nothing, is it? Bloody general. Play cricket. You play cricket. You play cricket in the.
I'm just going to check. Yeah. Check. Are we still rolling? Yeah, we are. It's an incredibly busy day, and there's lots of continuing professional development. And we'll just have different people come in and just help us. Improve the teaching and learning.
Yeah, if you believe that. Yeah. All right, mate. Have a good one. If I don't speak
and to you, enjoy your Christmas.
And you too. Cheers, guys. See you later.
Thank you. Bye bye.
And happy Christmas out there to all our listeners. Well, to Ian and Jules. Anyway.
Happy Christmas to the two of you.
Cheers, guys.